and I still can see him.
It is a voice you've never heard.
Did you feel like you might die?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And film you've never seen. One of America's most notorious serial killers.
Ted Bundy was a charming man. He wasn't a charming man. That was a facade.
Stalking his next victims at a Lake Sammamish picnic.
He's not what people imagine, you know, a sexual predator serial killer looks like.
And a woman who says she's finally ready to talk about her terrifying ride with a man named Ted.
When he said, "Don't even go there, you're never getting out of here," I knew that was my life flashing in front of me.
It has been 46 years since Otria Kritsonis last journeyed down this stretch of road.
It sure has changed a lot with all the new buildings.
But the memories of a snowy Seattle day in 1972 are clear and haunting.
He was dressed real nice, and you know, his hair was kind of wavy, and he had dark eyes. Handsome looking.
It was in this area. This has all been changed, but it was right here.
So Tria was 22 and says she'd waited nearly an hour for a city bus to take her to classes in Renton.
Car pulled up to the curb, rolled down the window and said, "Hello, young lady, are you waiting for the bus?" And he goes, "Well, you know, I've come down Rainer Avenue and that's a long ways and there's not a bus in sight. Would you like a ride?"
In the 70s, in relatively safe Seattle, the handsome young man seemed more friendly than foreboding.
So you hopped in his car, not thinking it was going to be a problem at all?
No, I thought how happy I am now. I'm in a warm car and I get to where I'm going.
As the Volkswagen Bug took off down Rainier Avenue South, so Tria said it quickly became clear. This would be no ordinary ride, and this was no good Samaritan. It was Ted Bundy.
Right about here, everything changed. He started, reaching under the seat, started yelling at me, "Why did you take this ride? Why did you even think about taking this ride?
You're never going to make it to the school." And I thought, wow.
You were thinking about jumping out.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
I couldn't. There was no handle.
No handle on the door?
No handle on the door at all, nope.
So Tria would soon learn it might be hair, not heroics, that could save her life. Many young women did not escape Ted Bundy, and some of their bodies were dumped here in remote areas of Issaquah. Others have never been found. It's also a place investigators believe Bundy trolled for more victims. It was the summer of '74, and employees of Rainier Brewing Company were enjoying their annual company picnic at Lake Sammamish State Park. In evidence never seen by the public until now, this film reveals how a day of fun became fertile ground for Ted Bundy to target his next victims. His Volkswagen Bug, seen here, offered a front row seat to watch women. That same day, in broad daylight, Bundy abducted Janice Ott and Denise Naslund from the park within 4 hours of each other.
The Lake Sammamish cases where once he got them in the car, he would quickly hit them in the head with a tire iron or beat them in a tire iron. That was kind of his M.O.
Film shows police on scene to investigate the women's disappearance, with Bundy's car still in the background. The bodies of Ott and Naslund weren't found until 2 months later, dumped in a wooded area about 2 miles away.
Where you're not going to go to your destination.
Back in that VW Bug,
I was sobbing and praying and, pleading for my life practically. Don't do anything, don't harm me.
So Tria says Bundy was driving her south on I-5 toward Tukwila.
You should have never taken this ride and shut the up.
She says Bundy's beratement led to a bizarre demand.
He goes, "Take your hat off." And I said, "What do you mean take my hat off, my stocking cap off? What for?" I took my hat off and he saw that something was different about me. And he goes, "Why did you cut your hair?" I thought, why did I cut my hair?
I keep thinking, did he stalk me? Did he see me somewhere? Was he waiting for me or was he watching me?
He says, "Well, put that hat back on." And then he said, "Shut the up," and he's yelling at me, "You're never going to make it."
He may have been involved in the rape murders of 36 women, all young and all with long brown hair.
So Tria speculates the hair that she had cut a week earlier may have saved her life.
He could have killed me. It was just thank God I had gotten my hair cut that I probably wouldn't be talking to you today.
An hour into her odyssey, so Tria says Bundy dropped her off in front of her school, shoving her to the ground and reminding her of just how lucky she was.
Yeah, so that's when I realized I was a lucky lady.
So Tria says she told her family about the man, but not police.
You know, I didn't talk about it because I was a little bit embarrassed about it.
He was attractive, intelligent, and able to charm women and men alike.
It wasn't until a year and a half later, while watching TV, that Sotria says she realized she'd been picked up by a suspected serial killer.
I knew 100% that was the guy, yeah.
The Bundy evidence files we examined here in King County are expansive.
I think he's responsible for additional murders.
And Cairo 7 has learned that homicide investigators with the Washington Attorney General's office are taking a new look at who else Bundy may have targeted.
Do you believe they are actively pursuing a DNA connection right now to Ted Bundy?
I believe some detectives are.
Seattle police investigators are re-examining evidence from this crime in 1966.
You have to keep your eyes open and say, what about Bundy? Is that a possibility?
While working at this Safeway in Queen Anne, Bundy is suspected of bludgeoning 2 flight attendants in their nearby apartment. Lonnie Trumbull died. Her roommate suffered permanent memory loss. Bundy never confessed to the crime.
At this point, we kind of have a second eye going over it and seeing what kind of physical evidence is there to maybe address with 2018 science.
Ted Bundy was executed in a Florida prison. His ashes were spread over the Cascade Mountains, not far from where he created so much havoc and heartache. And nearly 3 decades later, some of the answers to Bundy's past remain buried in the landscape of the Pacific Northwest.
The families deserve answers to what happened to their loved one.
A place of grandeur, grief, and gratitude.
You must feel lucky. You are a woman who survived Ted Bundy.
That I am. I'm more than lucky. I just thank God I'm alive every day.